Alrighty, my boys, it is time for the grand final of FenCrazyThing 9, and we have Naga versus Default battling it out for who will be the champion this time around. We have saw Naga so far undefeated in series, but it dropped the game to Default, it dropped the game to Tribal. Definitely beatable, it's not unbeatable, that's for sure. Default also beating all of the contenders here. We saw Default in the lower bracket beating Illuminati, and just now we saw it beat Tribal as well. So it is the number one seed because it inherited Promi's old seed. And it's no surprise really that both of these AIs here are successors of old Promi. Was always a good AI on this map and in these tournaments, and Barbarian is no longer around. Illuminati is not as good as it once was, being quite far behind in development after being absent for like 7 years. So we're gonna see, we are in the era of the Promis now, of the, you could also say the professional AIs. Yes, it's Promi versus Promi once again. What up, cheese on toast? We're here once again with a rematch actually, because both of these AIs did meet in the upper bracket once before. Naga was victorious there, 2-1, and that was also, I believe, the game where we saw the critical bug from Default when we saw it could not play the old land nomad start, where you have to build a lumber camp first. Anyway, I don't want to delay too long because we want to get this tournament the hell on with, right? So is my game showing? There we go. So, to the first game, this one is going to be a 5v5. Unlike the rest of the tournament, which was all best of threes, we are now into the grand final. It's going to be 5v5, with the fourth game being a 3v3, the fifth game being a 1v1 once again, if we need that. But right now, Default versus Naga. We start with the 1v1 once again. Let's go. And we have Lithuanians versus the Wu from Naga. Naga playing the Wu, okay. And we have a nomad start. Okay, not a land nomad start, but I think it might be a bugged map. And let me just check. I think it might be a bugged map, and I might have to restart. No, it's not bugged. No. We're playing this one. It's not bugged. They start with 2 stables from the looks of it, everyone. One outpost each as well over here. And Default is building its TC. They have 5 villagers each and no scouting unit, so they have to scout with villagers. Maybe we're gonna see in what state the civilian explorers bugs are, if they're fixed. I don't know, cheese and toast. Maybe you can tell me the patch 2 days ago. Were those bugs actually fixed? Was that included in the patch? I'm not sure. We have Naga here building its TC on the wood line. Default building it between the wood and the gold, but not that close to the wood. It built it in the spot it saw from the outpost. Both did start with a stable. There's a little bit of water on the far side here, but I don't think it's gonna matter here in this game. It really shouldn't. Okay. Civilian explorers bugs are not fixed yet, but they will hopefully be by the next patch. Along with, I hope, a lot of other bugs, because there's still some egregious AI bugs in the game, including a new one just from the last patch, which is outrageous. AI monks being able to convert castles, yes, NTCs and walls. Well, right here we have a regular nomad start. We saw Naga already finding 1 sheep, 1 boar. We saw, yes, maybe 2 sheep each. Default also found its sheep. It also has a bit of shorefish here. None of them have a lot of food though. I don't think it's found this boar. But it should be exploring, because I think food villagers can be retasked to explore. It's just the wood villagers that could not be retasked to explore. I think that was the bug. I hope so, at least. Oh, did Naga actually find this boar? Or was that an explorer? I think it might be an explorer. But it should find this boar right now. No, just short, I think. Just short. So, yeah, food is a problem, but Naga already built a mill. Default did not build a mill just yet. It still has this shorefish, but not for much longer. But having the mill here from Naga means it can start farming. It should really start farming, because you have no other food sources other than also one tile of shorefish here. You have to start farming now. Okay, okay. Default also building its mill, so it can also start farming. But Default did not have its, did not find a boar, so it is still on 12 villagers. Naga 2 villagers ahead on 14. And it has started farming here, and so has Default now. But Default 2 villagers behind, both are exploring with 1 villager. So that's working so far. I guess that could still happen, the old civilian explorers bug could still happen here, that these villagers go stuck at certain points. We'll see. Either way, so far, both of these guys, no critical bugs yet. Working out as they should, and they are very close to each other. Here. Naga already second lumber camp. And this boar, okay, looks like Default has found the boar and is lowering it now. But it is, as we said, 2 villages behind. Well, not quite 2 villages actually. Now both of them are idling their TC. They need to get more farms up. Maybe the second lumber camp here was ill-advised from Naga. You could have spent that wood on farms. You already have a lumber camp and your TC is even next to it. And we see Default trying to house wall already. Right from the start, it built its houses in a kind of a wall here. But I never saw it really fully walling itself off. It just built them as kind of... It built them in a line like it would house wall, but it's never been fully walled. So it's never been really impactful from what I've seen. And that's the second lumber camp here from Default. 5 farms. Naga ahead once again on 8 farms already. And have they scouted each other? I mean, I'm pretty sure this outpost here from Naga has... Yeah, this outpost here from Naga can see 1 lumber camp at least. But it has not found much else. But it doesn't know about this lumber camp, which is something. Yes, Naga's position is better, I agree. And yeah. The old bug is still happening. This civilian explorer is critically bugged. Fix your fucking game, Microsoft. Fix it. Because this is... Yeah. I mean, you know what this is. I think it should already be fixed. I think the bug has already been diagnosed and so on. Is the same thing happening for Default? I don't know if it's still exploring. For Naga, I mean. I don't see an explorer from Naga, so maybe not. Maybe it stopped exploring actually. Maybe because it knows about this lumber camp, just from its outpost that they started with. And that's another villager idle for Default. 10 farms now for Default. Naga on more. 15 already. Yeah. So, lot better economy for Naga. For sure. And still... less than a villager ahead actually. Okay, less than a villager. But, it does have loom. Okay, both of them have loom. Sure, they had some idle time in that TC. Of course, they got loom. And, I'm seeing gold. I do not see stone. Is there no stone? Okay, there is stone. There is stone. 1 pile down here. There's less on it. There's definitely less on these stones. But these stones are so far away from anyone. You see them here? Here's a stone. Here. Here. And over here. So very far away from everyone. But definitely in the advantage of Naga, which is closer to all of these stones. Except maybe this one. But I'm not sure they've even found the stones. Anyway. Is Naga up to fuel age? No, not yet, but very soon. Default also not that far behind in food count. Also now up to 16 farms, so they know they have to farm a lot and they are doing it. Oh, 19 farms even now for Default and 18 from Naga. Yes, they know how to farm. They know if there's no natural food sources or not enough. You need to farm quite a lot and both of these guys can do that, no problem. other AIs might have a problem here, like Bright Spark, we saw that already. But these AIs, they are in the grand final for a reason. They are the most solid ones, the least buggy ones, the ones that are the best on this map today. And Naga is gonna reach fuel age first. Default has also managed to clean up. And building a barracks, is it gonna do anything with it? Are we gonna see feudal aggression from either of them? I'm not sure. Both of them are on gold with 2 and 3 villagers respectively. There we go, Naga has reached the fuel age and it wants to fast castle, I guess. I see no barracks, but I do see a market. And they did start with this stable, so they could use that as their second buildings to go up if they don't want to make scouts from it. But no, Naga still wants to build a market and a blacksmith, and so does Default, building them right up against each other. So both of them want to go for a fast castle with market blacksmith. And having these stables already, they could then start making knights. And I'm guessing Naga is gonna be first up. And no, it's still lacking a lot of food. Actually, Default now has more food than Naga does. That's interesting. Can it click up the castle age first? Yeah, I think it can. It's just waiting for this market to go up. Only being built with 1 villager. And that's a bad tower. I guess it doesn't know where to build the tower because it hasn't scouted its enemy, but it must know about the marketed blacksmith, so it must know in which direction the enemy is. But this tower is not really defending. I mean, I guess it's defending the wood line, but it's in the back anyway. And it has clicked up to castle age earlier than Naga. Both have managed to click up, but now Default is actually faster in the age up. And they're both on 31 villagers. So yeah, actually Default has managed to pull ahead. I'm not sure how, but it did. And what are we gonna do in Castle Age then? Now the barracks from Naga. We already saw Default build its barracks in Dark Age and not do anything with it. And I guess it keeps, yeah, it kept trying to do its house wall here, but this one's open and obviously there's nothing on this side. Okay, maybe a bit of villager fighting. Promi has only 1 villager here fighting, attacking 1 villager from Default. Shouldn't make much of a difference. But Default has reached the castle age and I see no knights in the queue. I see a second TC immediately, so you want to boom. Oh, there is a knight in the queue. There is a knight in the queue. And these stables from Default are in the back of Naga's base. And Naga also built a tower in a not very useful spot in the back, but maybe this is a useful spot after all. Able to defend the knights. Yes, it's the good old Boomy. Probably not gonna see 5 TCs, but maybe we will. Naga still on 1 TC, has not dropped the second one, not enough wood yet, but it also has no military buildings. I mean, short, it has 2 stables. That they spawn. Is that the Gen Swordsman? The overpowered fucking unit. Yeah, this civilization I think is broken. I personally think the civ is broken. Maybe not so much for AIs, but for humans for sure. The infantry regeneration in combination with this unit especially is completely broken. But AIs are not gonna be able to really make use of regeneration that much as humans could. But it looks like, as the Wu, Naga knows how to take advantage of its most overpowered strategy. Also a second TC and making the Gen Swordsman, but are they gonna be attacking? No, not yet. Oh, the Default Knights actually not... Instead of attacking Naga, they are attacking this one outpost that was in its base. Yeah. And with Gen Swordsman having 5 Pierce armor, they can definitely dive the TCs. But they are attacking villagers now. And have they drawn... Okay, they took out 1 knight. Have drawn the aggro from the other one. But looks like Naga actually, in the castle age, might be able to grab the military advantage here, even fighting under the TC. There should be no problem taking out this knight. They do drop their shield once they get low enough HP, so then their pierce armor is lower. Building a second barracks here is Naga and a siege workshop. Okay. Are you gonna be raiding with your knights? No. No blacksmith upgrades either. I don't think there was any blacksmith upgrades for Naga. Oh yes, there is. First armor upgrade. Very nice. And diving the TC as they should, because they don't need to give a fuck about TC fire. Only taking 1 damage from each TC arrow and regenerating as well, so they are not gonna... They're still full HP. There we go. And looks like Naga should have the advantage here. Attacking the villagers, idling a lot, getting some kills in. We have default on 42 population, Naga up to 54 already. Naga 2 TCs, default now building its 3rd. But it has nothing really here to defend. The best counter to this would be monks. But I don't see any monastery from default yet. So it really has nothing to defend. And TCs are not a defense either against them, as we've established. So looks good for Naga. Looks good for Naga. I have said it a few times this tournament that Naga, in my opinion, is the favorite to win the entire tournament. It has looked like the strongest AI. And it's living up to that. Yes, Longswordsman would be the second best choice to defend. They do get bonus damage as well, because this is the... I believe these units are in the shock infantry unit class, like same as Eagle Warriors and Fire Lancers. But default isn't making any military, it's nothing to defend. Okay, it made 1 knight once again, but that's the only military it has, so really nothing. And we see the castle age douche from Naga, why not? But the military advantage from Naga is just too big. It's now 15 military population, and all of that is Gen Swordsman. And yeah, they can dive the TC with no problem. He's douching as well. This game already looks over. Very well played from Naga. Quite deserving of its favorite status and maybe the championship in the tournament. So far, it seems to be winning the first game already. And yeah, 82 population for Naga, less than 40 now for default. I'm gonna speed it up. We know default is sometimes slow to resign. More so in team games, I've noticed. In team games it really never resigns for whatever reason. But here we go. Yeah, Lithuanian archery range, second archery range as well from default. It's not like you can produce anything from it. All of its economy is idle by now, it keeps losing more villagers. Yeah, sure, 3 TCs, but all of them are being dived. Divin, is that a word? By the Gen Swordsman. Yeah, default really doesn't know what to do here. And it is quite hard to counter, I admit. Illuminati would beat it. Illuminati would beat it for sure with monks, but Illuminati is not here. Yeah, game's over. Oh, okay. Default resigns. 1-1. GG. The 1v1 won by default. That is first point in favor of Naga. Won by Naga, I should say. Restarting my game. Wu being overpowered is not a hot take. No, I agree. I think it's less overpowered for AIs than it is for humans, because humans can take full advantage of the regeneration. AIs not so much. Like we saw with the Georgians way back when they had their insane regeneration. And that was half of what the Wu have on their infantry. The Georgian cavalry regeneration. And apparently the devs didn't learn from that. Alrighty then. Second game, 4v4. Can default cling it back. I'm trying to remember what happened in the first matchup between these two AIs when they met in the upper bracket. I think it was the 1v1 that default won there. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, we're now into a 4v4. The colors are gonna be even numbers for the Nagas, odd numbers for the defaults. 4v4, large map. Let's go! Let's go, and we have a 1TC start with 3 villagers, but no scout. No scout, so once again we need to see civilian explorers, which is still bugged and still has not been fixed yet. We have water on this map, and the water is very much in favor of Naga here. Over on this side. It's very, very well in the back of Naga, and not accessible for default at all. But whether they're gonna go for it with that little water remains to be seen. Might be worth it just for a few fishing ships, but nothing beyond that. And we have here... Other than that, it looks pretty Arabia-like. And yeah, civilian explorers bug. Here we go, for default. These villagers should be exploring, but they cannot, because it hasn't found any food, and lumberjacks cannot be retasked. Cheese on toast. Bro, fix your fucking game, come on, fix your fucking game. That is teal right now, that's been crippled. Okay, okay. Has it unbugged? Has it found a food source? No, it has not. Doesn't look like it. Oh, what's happening to you, teal? Oh, okay, it's building a mill at least. That lumber camp is so useless though. Once those straggler trees, which has very little wood on them to begin with, or there were only 2 of them, I guess. Once they're exhausted, it's gonna have wood problems because that lumber camp's in a useless spot. That's teal here hamstrung. At least the mill is somewhat close to the berries. It can take those, and those berries do have a lot of food in them. There's also sheep here it hasn't found, but they don't have that much food. Is there any hunt? Yes, there's deer, which also have more food than normal. There's also boars on here, which have less food than normal. Deers are actually better than the boar here. And the rest of them seem to be exploring with the villager now. As they should. And the flanks are very close to each other. We see blue and red pretty close. Orange and grey also very close to each other. On this side. And we have, well, melee. Good flank civ for Naga. Saracens, not so much for default. Could still be good. We'll see. On the other side, Sicilians. Okay, I want to see how default plays Sicilians. Also, very bad llama camp. I'm not sure if it's scouted its wood lines, but that's a really bad llama camp. I'm wondering with the Sicilians whether it will build, whether it knows how to do the build order with dungeon first and no barracks. I'm not sure if it knows how to do that. I quite doubt it, but I'm open to be surprised. Would be great if default, being the default AI and the only professional AI, you're being paid to develop this AI. You really should know how to play a lot of situations like the Sicilian start. You should know how to build that you need to build a dungeon first and no barracks. Yes, it's a 16-bit integer. So 32k and a bit is the maximum amount. That's correct. And opposite flank here, Italians for red. For the red Naga. There's so much hunt here, but I'm not sure they can take advantage of that. So far, looks like they haven't found many food sources and are mostly relying on farming and their berries. Has red not found its berries? It must have found its berries. Come on. Let me check the scouting then. No, red has not... Oh, red has not been able to explore at all. So red has not found its berries. And that's a problem because the berries are important. They have quite a lot of food on them. And they're right over here. And red has not scouted them. I don't know why red has no civilian explorer. No. Before I do that, let me check the scouting for the defaults then. For the defaults. Yeah, looks better. Blue has not scouted much, but they have their berries. Green has a bad mill. A really bad mill, but it can take the berries. Similar for teal and... Yeah, okay, same for grey actually. Okay. But they have their lumber camps, no problem there. They're taking the boars and the few sheep they found. Now let's look at the entire map again. Villager numbers. Red 15, yellow 23, purple 22, orange 24. So yes, red is far behind for the Nagas. Having not found its berries or any of the other food sources over here is a big problem for red. So it is quite a bit behind, and especially as the flank, that's a problem for Naga. Looking at the defaults, we have 24 villagers for blue, 25 for green, yes. Teal on 21, so teal also a bit behind. Because it was, yeah, it had a bug at the start with the explorers not finding anything early enough and had a few idle villagers early. And gray even further behind for whatever reason. Okay, I guess it's not taking the berries now because they're a bit too far away from the mill. Maybe that's a problem. So overall, I think the defaults are further behind than the Nagas. Maybe the Nagas are gonna take another quick victory here. But is anyone up the fuel age is the question. Not for default. And not for Naga either. Oh, red has finally found its berries. After building its barracks, actually. And building a second mill on the berries. That's quite good for red. Giving it the best chance to recover its economy. Now that it can take advantage of these berries, which have 366 food on them each. No docks yet. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see any docks on this map because there's not that much water. Alright then. Some of the Nagas should be up to fuel age. Yes, 2 of them are. That's, no, that's the defaults. Green and blue are up to fuel age. And 3 of the Nagas are. Only red still waiting to click up. The other 3 Nagas are up and they're up first, I believe. Everyone other than red. But what are we gonna see here? It is a very open map. Very open map. No defenses whatsoever. No walls, no towers, no nothing. So feudal aggression could be important. Grey built its lumber camp quite far forward. Oh, it looks like a Drush from from orange. Or maybe even a man-at-arms. It isn't fuel age. It has 2 militia. But no upgrades, so... Just 2 militia. Okay, it's not bad. It caused quite a bit of idle time here, pushing the grey villagers off of this lumber camp at least. On the other side, I'm not seeing any military yet. Blue! Blue being in the flank actually wants to fast castle. Okay, that's risky, but we'll see. But yeah, it is up against red, which was quite far behind from the Nagas, so maybe not that risky. We'll see. Of course, the pockets archery range from yellow. And what does that bode? No, it is still the fast castle archery range blacksmith though. Archery range blacksmith. So it's probably gonna go for crossbows in the castle age. Makes sense for the Mayans. Purple stable blacksmith. So knights from the Lithuanians, also a good choice. Especially from the pocket. And here orange. Again, building close to each other. That's defaults, house wall. Very far forward, almost in range of Naga's TC. And okay, orange adding in some skirmishes as well, causing more idle time for Naga. And Naga here, grey, building archery range blacksmith. I guess it also wants to go for a fast castle, looking at the resources and the blacksmith. But it is under a bit of pressure, taking some economic damage in the form of idle time. Did it actually delete its lumber camp, or I guess it was taken down by the 2 militia slowly, but it went down. Over here we have a spear that's probably just used to scout. Yeah, spear, making a spear from the barracks as a scouting unit is quite meta, especially when you don't start with a scout. So, nothing crazy there. Red actually also looks, made at least I saw 1 militia there, so maybe also trying for a Drush. It must know about blue, it must. Let me check the scouting again. Have they not found blue? Blue has not... Okay, so the defaults have only found orange over here and not even its TC, even though they should. So scouting, not quite that good yet. For the Nagas also have not found the enemy flank on this side, but have found grey. So flanks scouted on the left side. On the right side, they are oblivious to each other completely. Okay, so yeah, maybe the fast castle here was indeed the right call from blue. And it is already in Castle Age. Of course, we didn't see the dungeon builder because it went Market Blacksmith. Assuming you can even do that. But now it is in Castle Age. Blue is. And it's just getting economic upgrades. Bowser on wheelbarrow, no second TC. A lot on stone. Is it gonna be a castle here? Like a castle could be devastating if it ranges anything from red. And with that much wood, with that many villagers on stone, it should be a castle drop, right? Yes, there we go. Castle, but it's red in the TC. It doesn't really range much from red. Just a few houses in the market. Okay. And Sicilian castle drop, it's a good strategy. Sure, the castle is built very fast for the Sicilians. So it's a good strategy in that regard. But other than that, you're not getting anything that you couldn't get from dungeons. On this side, yeah, purple Naga in Castle Age. Making knights. Yellow, did yellow go for archers? Yes, it has 2 archery ranges, but... yes, now it is finding crossbows. It has already the crossbow upgrade. And it has fletching from the looks of it. And it must have some military. I'm just not seeing it. Okay, they're still idling under the TC. That's what's happening. But purple is on the attack. Kind of. And they do not have... They have forging. Or is that a relic? Is that a relic? Could be... Yeah, it's actually +1 attack from the relic. Being Lithuanians. Okay. But no armor upgrades from the blacksmith. And grey does not seem to have anything here to defend, but... Okay, it's losing some villagers, but purple, as of yet, unwilling to dive the town center. And losing its monk, okay. On the other side, Blue's castle is up. And red made some feudal units and walks right into it. It is also... Red has made it to Castle Age. And it's making archers, as the Italians. Yeah, it's your best unit, sure, but... Walking into the castle is not the best use of them. So maybe in this kind of position the castle was quite a good choice from default. But all of them are adding in extra town centers as we would expect from these boomy AIs. Boomy, boomy, boomy. Oh, elephants from orange. Being melee, yeah, they're cheap. They're really cheap. So knights and elephants here, but once again, not yet willing to dive the TC, but there are always some villagers exposed here. Maybe it would have been a good choice to leave this lumber camp alive, just to have more villagers that you could attack. But as of now, they're camping in front of the TC. Okay, it looks like the elephants are sometimes diving the TC, the knights are not. And the elephants could also use an armor upgrade. Of course, the melee only get a single armor upgrade, but orange has not gotten it. On this side, yellow has sent its crossbows forward to red's base. And now red's market is going down here to the castle, as you should have seen coming. And yeah, I don't think blue is taking much damage here. Sure, keep sending a villager forward to build, but it's not critical. Let's compare populations then. Actually... Yeah, default is behind a bit, especially grey is quite far behind, being under attack for quite a while now from the cavalry of Naga, of orange and purple, especially purple with its knights. And yeah, having found another lumber camp here, that's also just gonna go down, I guess, and more villagers being sacrificed trying to go for the berries. On the other side, bit of a stalemate. Naga has all the military here. Default has no military here, but it has the castle, and Naga does not want to push into it. So there's that. On this side, yeah, grey is being still under heavy attack. 1 armor upgrade now for the Lithuanians, and 1 armor upgrade for the melee as well. You really should be diving the TC by now. Come on, just send them in there. Get it over with, or maybe add some battering rams at least, so you can finish off grey for good. Maybe these AIs are a bit slow to add battering rams. And the knights still do not want to go onto the TC. And cavalry archers, I'm not sure why it's making them, but it is. On this side, yellow has a ton of crossbows. But yeah, they can range some of these farms here. And maybe pick up a few villagers from blue, but they cannot push into the castle. And the pockets from default have not done anything. We've seen the default, the Naga pockets send their military forward. Purple's knights over here and yellow's crossbows over here, of which it has quite a lot. But the default pockets have not done anything. I guess they just want to boom. You see teal only has a few knights and camels. It's now finally sending its camels forward to try and defend grey. But it's not really has good army control, so not gonna be able to save grey. Grey is already pretty much dead. On the other side, green has not done anything. It made a few monks from what I saw. It is Hindustanis, so not a bad monk serve.
Food, please.
But it is mostly booming, I guess. So the pockets from default, 106 villagers, almost 100 from teal. Defaults, on the other hand, have less villagers, but having made one military. But yellow is already up to Imperial Age with the Mayans. And then it could go for Arbalests or Elite Eagle Warriors.
Food, please.
Probably Arbalest here, being already on crossbows, would be a good choice. On this side, like, how dead is grey? Yeah, 22 population. Grey is just almost completely dead. At least now teal has made enough camels to push back the military from the two Nagas on this side. Enough camels, and they do... Well, there's still a lot of battle elephants around here. And one battering ram from purple and a second one, but they are getting taken down by the cavalry from teal. And the elephants will also slowly go down. So on this side, teal able to hold, but it is pretty much 1v2 now. That grey is almost dead. And the Nagas on that side, being purple is up to Imperial Age, and orange is also up to 110 villagers. So almost fully boomed. What's it gonna go for then with melee? I'm not sure. So far it's making battle elephants and scorpions for some reason. I'm not sure why scorpions.
Food, please.
On this side, looks like the Nagas are finally able to push a bit with mangonels. Being somewhat able to get close to the castle, but no damage done to the castle yet. The other units have to stay out of it. And the mangonel from blue is being repaired and did not go down to the ram. And yeah, yellow was the first one to Imperial Age, but it has not gotten any Imperial upgrades yet. Once it does, okay, I guess the mangonel did go down. Red now... Red is Italians, okay, and it is making Eichmann and Knights. Now the first rams are reaching the castle from blue here, the defensive castle. Blue did not make many... Okay, it did make sergeants actually, sergeants and elite skirmishers. Now it finally has some military, but they need to be defending the castle right now. You need to take out these rams, otherwise the castle is gonna go down. On the other side, green is actually doubling up with teal to attack orange on the left side. So not helping blue here, which might be a good call because blue still has its castle to defend, but the castle is very close to going down. And it's not being repaired yet. But both of the pockets from default choosing to double up on the same side where its flank already took crippling damage might be a good choice from default here, because they're now actually able to push back on this flank. While blue is still able to hold with its castle.
Wood, please.
And now, okay, you saw a lot of deer here, and red is now finally taking them, but quite long range. Not efficient, but it is a food source. You can eat it. But blue looks to be in a good spot here. Sergeants with +2 armor.
Wood,
And
please.
yellow? Yellow got Bracer, but it didn't get Chemistry, it didn't get the Arbalest upgrade. Let me check what yellow's doing. Okay, it is getting both of those upgrades I just mentioned right now. So then it will have fully upgraded crossbowmen, at least as far as the offenses go. Armor is not that important for this unit. And I see plumed archers. A unit which I hate, a unit which was nerfed to death, and a unit which I think is quite bad at this stage in the game.
Food, please.
But it is making them. I know the Promi AIs like their unique units. In this case though, I think plumed archers are bad. You should not be making them. Focus on Arbalest or Eagle Warriors. not the plumes. And we see green has switched sides now. And it has already the Imperial Camel upgrade as the Hindustanis. An extremely strong unit. But on this side, it has no cavalry to counter, but still, the unit on its own right is also alright. Now sending in its battering rams as well, or battering elephants, I should say. And red here, completely overwhelmed at this point. Is default coming back from this now that green has switched flanks after doing a lot of damage to orange? Orange lost one of its TCs here. Purple, we already saw, had a TC that also went down. So maybe default is winning the 4v4 for once against Naga. Very good performance from default. The Naga pockets focusing more on military in the Castle Age. The default pockets focusing more on their boom. And they are now fully boomed and bringing the full might of their fully upgraded militaries to bear. And the defaults, the Nagas, I mean, did not, with their Castle Age military, they did not make enough of a difference. They took out Grey, sure, but that's only one flank, and they did not take out Blue. Because Blue's castle, which I questioned earlier, did come in clutch in being able to protect this flank long enough for the pockets to boom. And default, yeah, made very good use of that defense, even though Grey went down. It's the pocket boom and its fully upgraded units now, or almost fully upgraded, are making the difference now on this side. Red has been pretty much completely taken out. Now it still has 60 population, but I'm finding it quite hard to imagine how Red is gonna come back to that with that much siege now, taking out all of its buildings. It looks like Red is about dead. Yellow, a lot of arbalests, elite plumed archers as well, and a ton of halberdiers from Yellow. So maybe now it's finally able to push it back on this side, but it has to do it alone. On the other side, how's Orange looking? Oh, Orange also down to 50 population. So both of the flanks from Naga here are now quite crippled, and default. I mean, on this side it's from Naga, it's purple. From default it's the teal pocket. Still not with the Savar upgrade. Are you getting it? Is that the Savar upgrade that I see in the queue there? Yes, it is. So teal fully upgrading its cavalry, and it also has hand cannoneers and halberdiers. On the other side, the pocket is Lithuanian from Naga, and it has the Ring to Saw. Also, great trash unit, but it is still trash.
Wood, please.
This game is still relatively even. I think with a bit of an advantage to default.
Food, please. Wood, please.
What about Blue? Blue is also in the Imperial Age. It has now elite sergeants, but not +4 yet. With +4 they should be quite strong. Very tanky unit. Not as much as they used to be. They did also get nerfed to death in my opinion. Because the Pierce Armor was the one thing they were good at. Now they're not anymore. But they are still a main infantry unit. And against Gulams, no, Gulams is on the same side. Against Eagle Warriors, they're gonna be quite good. And looks like Yellow is now switching somewhat to Eagle Warriors. Or Yellow is making a ton of different units. Still Arbalest, Halberdier, Plumed Archers, and I saw some Eagle Warriors as well. So a big mix of pretty much every unit that the Mayans can make.
Food, please.
On the other side, yeah, Orange still under attack. Looks like Teal here still trying to make progress, but the units are all over the place. With TSA, it always gets very messy in the late game. Very messy. Armies all over the place, spread out. That's just how it goes with these AIs. Orange still actually making Naga. Orange still making military despite being on very low population, if I recall correctly. Yeah, 75 population, only 60 villagers, but it is making military. And we we did actually see one dock after all, but nothing made from it, so useless dock. And not worth commenting on. On this side now we have quite a big army from Yellow. A lot of ranged units, lots of elite plumed archers. But they are against skirmishers from the Sicilians. purple is now crossing to the other side. So purple helping out on yellow and red's flank means the other side should be vulnerable. And yeah, you see a lot of siege rams here for teal, taking out the last defenses from orange. This castle is gonna go down, I'm pretty sure of it. And it has fully upgraded skirmishers here. Yeah, Persians don't get bracer. And Savar missing the last attack upgrade, but almost fully upgraded. And these siege rams are very important. As always for AIs, once you have the advantage in one position, siege rams are the best way to make use of it, to take advantage of it. Would it be better for yellow to go for elite eagles, asks Clive. Not if you're up against sergeants, infantry, so maybe not. No, I don't think so, because you're up against, like what? What's green going for? I'm not sure what green's military is. Let me actually check what green's military is at this point. Is still Hussars Imperial Camels? Where's green's army? I don't see it. It must have army. Is it going to the wrong side? Has some elite gulans as well, so mix of different units. Also gunpowder here. So some bombard cannons and hand cannons. And lots of Onegos even for green. So I guess it wants to counter. What is this? A Karansarai? Okay, default knows about this building, I guess. And it does have two civilizations that can build it. That's Persians and Hindustanis. Those are the two civs that can build this. And those buildings just speed up the trade around them. So that's interesting that default knows about this and can take advantage of it and even builds it in the right spot in the trade line. You can see all the trade cards are moving through here. But on this side, yellows now, the ranged units prove to be the right choice here. So no, it should not have switched to eagles. Ranged units are correct. And now that purple switched sides here and is helping on this flank, now blue is finally dying and the Nagas are pushing into this default flank with fully upgraded, no, not fully upgraded Lithuanian paladins, or do you not have more relics than one? I can check this. No, only one relic for the Lithuanian players, so I guess they're not gonna get more attack than this, so they are fully upgraded for purple. Still, they are paladins, they are good, and now their yellows bloomed archers are in the trade for default. And that's a problem, because the trade route from default is exposed and all the trade cards are going down right here, right now. Yellow's ranged units are getting it done. Beautifully done from Naga. On the other side, yes, sure, the Nagas have died, but what about the trade route from Naga? Does Naga have a trade route? I'm not seeing much trade. I guess they're maybe only just now starting it. What about the gold? Have they run out of gold? Not quite. But they might pretty soon. There wasn't that much gold on the map, and it is gonna run out pretty soon for the Naga.
Stone, please.
And Naga's spamming my chat, which fuck you.
Stone, please.
That's all I can say on that subject. But yeah, default did start its trade a lot earlier, and it's getting raided to death on that front. On the other side, now that orange has been pretty much taken out, the defaults are switching to the middle of the map now and attacking. There's a lot of Naga production buildings right here, but a lot of siege for the defaults, for teal and green. Shut the fuck up, red. I think I can actually shut you up. No, red is player 1. I cannot shut you up. I'm sorry. And then that's fucking debug spam. Like, come on, Promi, get rid of this shit. Fuck's sake.
Wood, please. Food, please.
Yeah, looks like default is taking back some of the push here. Pushing now through the middle of the map. The two defaults are pushing into the pockets from Naga, but everything Naga has here is mostly just production buildings. I guess some of the economy is forward. On the other side, blue is dead. I really have to compare populations again. So red has somewhat recovered here. We see red building its economy and buildings a bit further back, has recovered to 150 population from Naga. That's really good. Yellow is still almost pop capped. Purple 180 pop. It's orange now. That's the worst off for Naga. It's trying to rebuild further back, but it is still under attack by teal.
Food, please.
Oh, but on the other side, the default, the blue is almost completely dead, down to 10 population. And that went down recently from the Naga push on this side. But the pockets should be about pop capped. Shouldn't they be? Oh, only 175 pop for green.
Food, please.
Is it really only... No, don't tell me you're only making skirmishes. Oh no, I see what's going on. It's because the trade went down. That's what's crippling the pockets from default now. So maybe Naga is coming back from it.
Food,
And
please.
at least teal is still very close to pop cap. And grey on the other side, also similar to red, rebuilding after taking crippling damage early on. It is still in Castle Age and has not managed to click up to Imperial, but it is back up to 160 population. It has quite a lot of army. This is of course Castle Age army. But it's better than nothing. Naga, can you shut the fuck up?
Food, please.
Ah. I should have set up the game the other way around. I don't know why I put the Nagas in player 1. I don't think default has this kind of debug spam.
Gold, please. Gold, please.
Oh my god. Well then, it is looking good for Naga
Food,
once again.
please.
Let me check the players, but on this side, okay. Looks like default is focusing on the left side again, and that's Grey's Castle Age military here. Backed up by Siege from the teal pocket.
Wood, please.
I'm still not sure there's a winner. Like, if you look at the scores, it's extremely close. Like, this is very close for a 4v4. But with both of these AIs being very good in the 4v4s and in the late game, that's what we can expect. Both of them having players that have already come back from the brink of death. Very solid AIs here, showing what they can do in the late game. And in the 4v4s, this is really both of these AIs at their best. And they're here for a reason.
Wood, please.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's winning. The front line seems to have moved quite far back to the middle, except on this side where there's still some teal siege rams taking out buildings. Where Orange's base used to be, and Orange is down to 50 population still.
Wood, please.
But here, we see Naga on the attack.
Stone, please.
Naga, red. Red is up to Imperial Age, finally. Okay, it was also still missing its Imperial Age upgrade, which is what I just noticed, which is why I checked. And yes, it is about to reach Imperial Age, and then it can fully upgrade its units. It is making only trash at this point. So the trade route is still being developed from Naga, I guess. And it is gonna go from here,
Food,
not
please.
perfect, not perfect, to where? To here? To here? Yeah, not the greatest trade route from Naga. I think the next Illuminati version will have to actually have almost perfect trade. So maybe actually an advantage for Illuminati in the future. But here... Still pretty much stalemated as far as I can tell. Who's gonna win it? I have no idea. Quite chaotic. I have a hard time keeping track of it. With this many colors in the game. On this side, yellow is pushing again. Also has siege rams. Of course, Mayans do get that. Elite skirmishers with the unique upgrade. That's the
Wood, please.
Holche Javelineers, I believe, for the skirmishers. An additional projectile with one attack. A bit better than regular fully upgraded skirmishers. But not as good as
Wood,
Aztecs or
Food,
Imperial
please.
skirms or anything like that. And we still see lots of pikes versus the hussars. Sure, why not?
Wood, please.
And I'm still being fucking annoyed by the chat spam from Naga. I'm actually gonna take off my headphones. Just so I don't lose my mind about that.
Food, please.
Yeah, these AIs do like that trash. And might have something to do with the trade. Because Naga did start its trade very late. And I still don't see that much trade from Naga. Of course, when you look, the trade route is not ideal. It goes only from here to like here. So it's not ideal. It could be a bit better. But even if it was fully set up, there's not many trade cards. Like, look at how many trade cards they had.
Wood, please.
It didn't get raided either, so Naga never made much trade, so that's why they have gold problems. And we saw Default's trade, which went through here, already getting raided to death. So
Wood, please.
okay, Default has now finally a much better trade route. It even built its caravanserais back here now. And trade from over here, yeah, that's good, to over here. So now Default has the much better trade route. So maybe Default should have the advantage on the gold units as well. Blue still almost dead. It did actually make a castle here once again, and it still has some military. It should really be focusing on its economy, rebuilding its villager numbers. Right now it's operating on 2 farms, so it's gonna take a while for Blue to come back into the game. Green almost pop cap, and now with this much trade for green and teal, they could really get it done, but the military is still not optimal.
Wood, please.
Yeah, Persian skirmishers, no bracer,
Stone, please.
and some more trash. On the other side, Lithuanian trash. Lithuanians have probably the best trash in the game, with their unique upgrade and with winged hussars as well, which are strictly better than regular hussars. So Lithuanians are gonna be much better when they're going for trash units than other sims. And yeah, looks like Naga is actually attacking
Stone, please.
on the offense across the map almost, except right here in the middle.
Food,
Despite having the
please.
weaker trade is okay, now the trade looks to be better. The trade is somewhat forward here. So here's the orange market and yellow.
Stone,
Where are these
please.
trade cards even going? Where are you going?
Food, please.
Down here. Okay, that's a decent trade route, but it's very far forward. So Default still with a better trade route than Naga.
Stone,
And
please.
nobody able to claim the decisive advantage. Maybe once Blue comes back, it can do so, but yeah, it's gonna take a while for Blue to come back, as I said, and it is still under attack from the Nagas here. Trebuchet on the castle, siege rams coming in as well, but Green is here to help defend, so maybe giving Blue a chance to reboom slowly but surely. And yeah, Imperial Camels, sure, good unit, but maybe not in this matchup, because we don't see that much cavalry from Naga. It's mostly ranged units and some pikemen. So they... yeah, sure, it is one of the best units for the Hindustanis, but in this particular game, they are the wrong choice.
Wood, please. Stone, please.
Yeah, Red's still spamming, I know. Nothing I can do about that, sadly.
Wood, please.
And on this side, looks like the fighting stopped. Nothing going on over here. More towards the middle. The Nagas are on the attack, but it's mostly trash. Yeah, it's still mostly trash, even though they should be getting their trade set up.
Wood.
So they should have more. They should have gold to spend, and now I guess they don't. I guess they still don't, and they're still getting more trade, so not quite fully trade room, the Nagas. And Default once again has a bit of forward trade here, so this could once again be
Wood,
vulnerable
please.
if Naga can push far enough. And it is still pushing on this side, where blue space used to be. A lot of red and yellow, but it's mostly pikemen and some ranged units, some skirms and so on.
Gold.
Yeah, fuck you, Promi. Take this shit out. I fucking hate you right now. Uploading this beta version. Wasn't this version uploaded like 2 months ago or something? It's not new. You could have updated it at any point. Beta version, he says. Yeah, you really should have uploaded it before I went into this grand final. Right now, I'm afraid we have to deal with this. For next game, I'm definitely gonna switch the teams around so that Naga is not player 1, because player 1 is the only one whose chat I cannot mute. But Naga is making progress in this game. On this side, we see orange and purple here, pushing into gray once again. And I'm not sure what went wrong for Default here. It had the better trade early on, It had good, its players recovered quite well, like Gray that almost got taken out early on, reboomed quite well. Now Blue is rebooming as we speak, but just the military from default is not as good from the looks of it.
Wood, please.
It's just, yeah, Persian trash and some hand cannons and some siege.
Wood,
And Gray did make it up to Imperial Age, but I'm not sure what military it made. It must have died by now.
Apa syahsananya baginda? Iya, apa syahsananya baginda?
And on the other side, yeah, Naga seems to be winning on both sides now, and it is once again in yellow, once again in the trade route of the defaults here, up on this market. And there's not many groomed archers yet, but more will arrive. The pikemen not quite that good at raiding trade because they're gonna be chasing the cards, and the cards are faster than them. The ranged units much better at this. Yes, chat is always from the player one perspective. No, it is always player one perspective plus the perspective of the player I'm on. So player one is always, regardless of which player I'm on, player one is always adding on top of it, which fucking sucks. I've always only noticed it this tournament because it's the first time I'm streaming in DE, but DE user patch was so much better when it comes to spectating AI games. Like in DE, we still don't have a single way for multiple people to spectate an AI game. In user patch, we had 2 ways.
Gold, please.
So fuck this game.
Please.
It is what it is. We gotta deal with it. It's a bug, okay? Critical bug then. Yeah, I would say critical. Fix it. No, but seriously, cheese on toast.
Gold,
If you have any
Gold,
influence over
please.
that, you gotta tell them to add in one way, at least one way for people to spectate AI games. Like, I think the multiplayer one is the easiest one to implement. Just make it possible for people to launch a multiplayer game with only AIs in there. That should be possible, really. Like, that would be the easiest way to make it possible for us to co-cast AI tournament games.
Gold, please.
The bug was reported over 3 years ago, yeah. Many such cases for DE. We have seen a bunch of bugs we have seen critical bugs that have been in the game for multiple years. It fucking sucks. It ain't what it used to be. It's not user patch. It seems to not be a priority for the developers. But I hope it's getting better. I have seen some improvement, at least in Cheezato's behavior. He's quite interested in diagnosing the bugs these days. But knowing the developers, they're gonna keep adding new ones as well every time they fix something, like we saw last patch. With the AIs being able to now convert buildings, castles, TCs, walls for whatever reason. That's how it goes. We can only hope that things improve.
Gold.
There have always been some optimal, but not in the worst state they've been. Early DE was so bad it made me quit the game. So we're past that, at least. But yeah, this game looks like Naga is winning. I'm actually gonna speed it up. Naga has finally gotten the advantage. And looks to be a 2-0
Gold, please.
in this match. On this side, Naga has pushed all the way through. Once again, Yellow. Yellow has actually been the MVP here.
Gold, please.
With the Mayans, just halberdiers and plumed archers getting the job done. And of course siege rams, always siege rams, the most important unit for AIs. And once again, trade for default, yes, going down. I don't think there's anything default can do anymore. On this side also, Malay battle elephants fully upgraded, yes, that's +1, it's all the armor they get. But they are cheap as fuck, that's what balances it out. And on 4 times speed. Okay, I did mention that default is very slow to resign in team games. Okay, now that I say that, green and teal, the ones that were the pockets were actually okay. Now all of them have resigned. Okay, it took them a while. They were on very low population. Yeah, but they did resign. Wasn't too bad. I once again will restart my game, and Naga is on the brink of winning the entire tournament. Only needs to win one of the next 3 games to take the trophy. So far, very dominant tournament. from Naga. And yes, I did say a few times that Naga is the favorite for the tournament, and it has really lived up to that. Lived up to that expectation, and looks like Naga is gonna win the entire thing unless Default can pull off the reverse sweep here. We'll see. Next game will be the 2v2. As I wait for my game to start, what could be a good matchup for Default? I think the one time I've seen it beat Naga, it was the 1v1 in this tournament, and it was an open map, and it did go to late game. It wasn't aggressive. It might have just been a better unit choices. I don't quite remember that game. You can definitely look it up though. So I'm not sure what would have to go right for Default to win this matchup. I think Naga is just superior these days. By the way, Promi, if you're here, you can tell me, because I've been wondering, the current Naga version does not cut on Michi. Are you about to upload one that does know how to do the Michi cut? Okay, now yes, I'm gonna put Naga on team 2. That's correct. So hopefully Default won't spam that much. Okay, 4-player game, 2v2. All civs are being played. Yeah, it's not a lot of effort. It's quite easy. You do need to add that because Naga doesn't know how to do it. But Naga is pretty close to unbeatable on Michi. I'm just gonna say, it is just the strongest late game AI. So it can lose to Illuminati, but most of the time it wins still. So it really should be almost unbeatable on Michi. It just needs to know how to cut, then it can really beat anyone. Anyway, back to FenCrazy. 2v2. Default versus Naga. Setup looks good, let's go. Goths, Ethiopians for Default versus Italians and Mongols for Naga. Once again, Italians in red. Same as last game. There was also Italians in red, I seem to recall. And we have a nomad start, not a land nomad. 6 villagers and 1 scout. Maybe we could have sped it up a bit. Oh, okay. There's something going on here. Maybe we could have sped it up a bit if there had been a land nomad start, an old land nomad start, where Default might have still been critically bugged. But here, regular nomad start. Crater bases. Yes, elevation is a problem for map gens. But there's a lot of water here. There's a lot of water, and we have Default with the more cohesive landmass here. There's only one body of water, so we don't have to worry about docking and making navy in the wrong pond like we did in the tribal versus Default game we saw earlier this night. Here, it's all connected, the water is. And there is quite a lot of fish, so the water can be important as well. Yes, look at these fish. They have over 600 food on them. So yes, the water could prove decisive when there's only one choke point between them. This ice right here connects the land masses. But Nagas don't have that much space, but they do have a lot of extra resources here. You see the golds in the back for red. Any crazy resources is what I'm wondering about. There's also stone, so no lacking in that department. The boar has 340, that's normal food. Not many sheep. So it looks like no berries either. I don't see any berries here. And not many sheep. That means this map is very low on food sources. On natural food sources other than the fish. So yeah, you're gonna have to farm again. Once again, you have to farm. They also started with 2 barracks. Happens. And is that 2 relics on 3 relics? Oh, they were default side. Okay, could be a bit of an advantage. And also having more land to set up a better trade route could also be a better advantage for Default here. But will it actually be able to utilize those advantages, or will we once again see Naga overcome the odds? Yes, I do hope Naga will duck, because this is one of those maps where water could really be important. But the one time in this tournament where we saw in a map where water is very important before, we did see Naga win this one with water, and it looks like this villager is going to build a dock right now, and yes, it is. If you recall, Promi, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you watched it. It was the Naga versus Brightspark 4v4. That was a very heavy water map, and Naga looked pretty good there on the water. So I'm expecting the same thing here. And yellow is already building its dock. Red building a very back dock, but it is still connected. Problem is there's no deep fish around here, so its fishing economy from this dock will not be as efficient. Yeah, it's really bad. But, okay, defaults are building their docks here. Those docks are definitely better for the fish than red's dock by a long shot. But yellow's dock is alright. It's just red that the first fishing ship always explores, right? That's another critical bug in the game. Critical fucking bug at Cheese on Toast. How are we looking then? Villager numbers so far, everyone on 18, 19. Looks like defaults got the loom earlier. No, Naga also got loom. So the Nagas are just ahead. Also building the dock earlier, so maybe some of it is for the fish. And taking the shorefish here with its villagers. We saw that be a problem in the default tribal 4v4, where some of the defaults were taking fish from far away docks. But here the docks are pretty close to the players, and that shouldn't be much of a problem. Ensemble Studios. Don't play with Ensemble Studios. You fucking had this game for how long now? 6 years? And it is much buggier than AOC ever was. So do not blame Ensemble Studios, Cheezatos. Fuck you. Anyways, okay, second dock from one of the true promies. Yeah, they're all promi once again. From default. Default green second dock, blue still one dock. The Nagas still one dock each from the looks of it. I don't see a second one. I mean, you can easily check with my hotkeys. Red one dock, yellow one dock, blue one dock, green two docks. Yes, so green's the only one that's made two docks. You see a bunch of fishing ships here for the defaults. Naga? Has yellow not made any fishing ships? I don't think so. Yellow has not made a single fishing ship, I think. Otherwise, we'd be seeing it fishing here. Yeah, red has made fishing ships, which help. To travel all the way out here to grab. Where are you going? Don't tell me it thinks these fish are closer. I think it does. Oh. Yeah, by air, this fish is closest to the dock. So the fishing ships are actually going all the way around here instead of taking this one, which is closer by sea. Yeah, definitely unfortunate for red, which has a very inefficient fish economy until it builds a second dock somewhere over here. Then it's gonna be fixed all of a sudden. But yellow, on the other hand, has not made a single fishing ship. So that's a problem. Yeah. And default has tons of fishing ships, so default a lot better on taking advantage of the fish. And if we're looking at the populations, both of the defaults still in Dark Age and not even really close to clicking up. But they are on 40 population, which is almost 10 ahead of the Nagas. But the Nagas, at least one of them, that's yellow, has clicked up to the feudal age. But yellow is the one that has no fish whatsoever. For whatever reason, I cannot fathom. It built a dock and no fish. Which I've seen from both of these AIs in some of these games. Building a dock for no reason, and they're not making anything from it. Okay, looks like yellow wants to go for a fast castle, building a market. Why? Yeah, market blacksmith, so looks like yellow wants to go for a fast castle. Still with no fish. Red is also clicked up the fuel age. And so have both of the defaults. The red's gonna be the slowest one with its inefficient fishing economy. And what are the defaults gonna do? We saw in the 2v2 between... Was it a 2v2? Yeah, it was a 2v2 between tribal default, wasn't it? That both AIs went heavily onto water, even though it didn't make that much of a difference. Land would have been much better. But here we see green making archery range, blue making also archery range, but also blacksmith stable and archery range. What the hell is your build order, blue? Yeah, it is a fast castle, sure. Both of them actually. Market blacksmith and archery range. And stable? Make up your fucking mind, default. Which building do you want? What do you want to make? Well, are you up to castle age? Yes, both of the defaults have clicked up to castle age. Red, on the other hand, is going for galleys still from... No, 3 ducks. 3 ducks. Where are your ducks? Where's your dogs? Okay, the dogs are now on the front, so now finally the fishing economy will be better and going for galleys. It might be able, if it finds it, to take out the fish from default, but it is gonna be in feudal age while the defaults are up to castle. And yellow, on the other hand, is now also up to castle, and it never made any fish. It has 2 dogs, 3 dogs now, 3 dogs, 4 dogs even, 4 fucking dogs, and okay, it's also going for water. So no fishing ships, curiously enough, from yellow, even though it had really good dock placement here. There's lots of deep fish around, but it never made any fishing ships. Instead, it's going fast castle war galley from the looks of it. But here's the chance for default to be punished by the Naga galleys. If the Naga galleys only go on the offense and kill all of this fish. Right now I see them mostly idling. Yeah, nothing yet. They're not moving yet. I wonder when they will. So far nothing yet. Naga has a chance. Naga has a chance to kill all of this fish. If it goes on the aggressive here with its... If it goes on the offense with its galleys, but so far it isn't yet. The defaults, on the other hand, well, we know it's boomy. Both of these AIs are promy, boomy. They're gonna be booming. Green's actually going for knights. It has some knights, but they're not attacking anything yet. Have they found anything? Let me check the scouting actually, because that is kind of looking to be quite important here. Yes, the defaults have found yellow. And green has also been found for Naga, but the dogs are over here. And they have not been found for Naga. And the dogs are really what's vulnerable and what could be attacked. Yeah, if you had scouted those dogs, Naga, I think you could be winning the water. Maybe you should be using all of these galleys to scout. I don't know if that's possible. I think there's strategic numbers for water scouting. I don't know how they work. Or if they work at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they're critically bugged. I wouldn't be at all. It is what it is, but green's default knights are now on the attack here. Onto yellow. And yellow has war galleys, which it is not using. And its TC is now under attack by knights. Well, +1/+1. Do you want to dive the TC? Looks like you don't really, but still a bit of idle time. And now, okay. War galleys are, some of them are moving to the correct spots. Others are idle. I think Naga would really benefit. I've seen this as well in the Bradsburg vs Naga game I referenced earlier. Like, some of these ships are behaving quite well and being active, but others are, maybe if they're a bit too far away, they're idle. They're still idle even though they could be doing something. So maybe you gotta increase one of these SNs, like, what is it? Response distance, something response distance for the ships. I don't know if it's the same one as for land units, but you should be increasing that. And then you won't have these idle ships anymore. No, it's definitely saleable. What do you think? Why would it be unsaleable? It's the same as shallows. Or... Is it? I don't know. I mean, they can definitely sail along this spot here. Maybe it is, I'm not sure. Either way, they can move through it, just on the coastline. Maybe it is. Maybe you're right, actually. Maybe this is like the... what's it called? The Ghost Lake? They can't move over the ships. Like, that's the ice. And you see, yeah, I think it is. Like, you see, there's two different ices here. Like, the shore ice here, the very bright one. That's the one you can move over the ships. And this here is not shallows. It's actually solid ice. Yeah, I think you're right, actually, yeah. Why? What do you mean fixed FenCrazy? This isn't a bug. There's nothing bugged here as far as I can tell. Okay, it's a choke point, I guess, and that's stuck. I'm not even sure if that's different. It might have been different between AOC and DE. Maybe in the terrain it tries to generate would have worked in AOC, but it doesn't in DE, and that's why it creates it like this. But right now we see some of the ships here blocking each other. Really strong ice terrain. Yeah, that might be something to look into. I can add it to my list. I do already have a list for things that can be improved on FenCrazy, that can be fixed for the next versions. But looks like, okay, what I was saying before, Naga did actually find the defaults here. And I think they killed some fishing ships, but now green here has fire ships with the Castle Age upgrade in defense. And red is still on galleys. No war galley upgrade, but they do have vodka arrow. On this side, yellow's war galley is still mostly idle. And yellow under attack by the knights. They do have +2 defense now, but they still don't dare dive under the TC, and they do take damage. So let's compare populations. Blue, 100 population. Green, 80 population. Red, almost 100. And yellow, 90. So still quite even, honestly. But what I said about Naga's ships being idle, yes, your ships are fucking idle, Promi. Same for red. Yellow and red, both of them. Actually, let me just note down this FenCrazy thing that you just said live, because I have my list and I'm gonna add this to it. Yeah, just to remember that. And yeah, Naga's ships. Naga has it should have the naval advantage by a lot, but it's not using its ships, and it now has definitely scouted those docks, I'm pretty sure. No, not Narco. Marco. Yeah, it's scouted the docks, but the navies from Naga are not on the move. And yeah, Promi. That's something you can work on. Fucking navy control. Your ships are fucking idle. They're idle. They're not doing anything. But are we up to Imperial Age? Like, no, nobody is, but pretty close. The defaults are very close to clicking. They can click any moment now. Please don't tell me that. Okay, blue is up to Imperial. Green still needs a bit of gold. But the Nagas are not close yet. They keep making more war galleys, which they are not using. Yeah. Water. Water is a problem for all AIs. I don't think there's a single AI that's good on it. It's always suboptimal, which is why I personally believe just fuck it. Why do you play water at all? Oh, something's happening. No, Naga. Naga's navies have woken up and are on the move, and this is a ton of ships on the move now. Now all the fish is gonna die all at once, and there's a lot that can be ranged here from the sea. A lot of economy from default that can be ranged. Yeah, it has a few fire ships, but nowhere near enough to put up any kind of defense against this massive Naga navy. Finally, indeed, I agree, probably. Here we go, finally some action in this game. And yeah, shoreline under attack. Naga with the decisive advantage on the sea. Default could have the advantage on land if it wanted to. Green still had some knights here, but not attacking anymore. And now the Naga navies are in position to cut them off as well if they tried. And they do range quite a lot of farms and the docks as well, which will go down in short order. So Naga, are we gonna see a 3-0 Naga sweep? Default is trying to build some docks on this side, but the galleys from Naga have found it. And that's gonna mean more losses here from Default. Default has no chance to build up a big enough mass to challenge the Naga navies here. As long as the Nagas can keep camping the docks and all of the docks are under siege. Yes, indeed. And buildings on the shoreline, economy on the shoreline, even military on the shoreline is going down. There's Blue, has Huskarls, whatever. Defaults, both of the defaults have reached the Imperial Age, but I don't see anything that can challenge the ships here. Sure, there's some things you could do, like, I don't know, block printing monks could work against this. Siege could work against this, like Onagers, Siege Onagers could work with Siege Engineers, could work against this. I don't see either of those things from Default though. Now it's just a matter of time, in my opinion. Both of the Nagas, okay, red isn't, but yellow is almost pop capped and is up to Imperial Age. Is it gonna add in any military, land military? Once it does, it should be able to finish out this game. Yes, both of them are adding battering rams, sensing that they have the advantage, I hope. Oh, and Blue is spamming a lot of docks down here, but they are trickling their ships into the mass of Naga navy that is massed up right here, and a few ships that are coming one by one from Default are not going to be able to make any difference. Even if they're in Imperial Age, they don't have any Imperial upgrades. You don't even have fletching, Default. You don't even have fucking fletching. Come on. You have navy upgrades, you have the Wargalley upgrade, you have something, I guess, for the +1 armor, but you do not have any fucking blacksmith upgrades. No fletching. Oh, Default, you're the Imperial Age. Even pop capped is Blue. Green is not green. Yeah, Blue is pop capped without. Okay, it finally got fletching. That's something. But yes, the shorelines, all your shorelines all belong to Naga. And villagers are being lost. A lot of farming economy already went down here. And Default keeps trying to build buildings here, and they are all going down to these ships. It looks like Naga is winning this one. And it looks very clean. 3-0 victory for once in the grand final. Naga very dominant. I'm actually gonna speed up the game, because I do not see how Promi could possibly challenge this naval superiority at this point. You see the Gothic infantry walking along the shoreline, just presenting themselves on a platter to be murdered by Naga's navies, which have been upgraded to Imperial Age. We have galleons, maybe missing some upgrades yet. The bracer upgrade still missing, and chemistry for red. The yellow has chemistry but no bracer. And they're not researching them yet either. Yellow is pop cap. You could be clicking this right now, but it's not. Yellow, you should be clicking bracer. Why aren't you clicking bracer? Well, now they are also adding in some land military pikemen. I don't know why. Then mostly the military I've seen from Default is infantry from Blue. I guess green has nothing anymore. Green is going down. Yeah, I mean pikemen are good against buildings somewhat if you have arson, but the siege rams are more important here. Yeah, bombard cannon micro, that's a good shot. Yes, that could clear up this navy. Still, the ghosts are still champ blooding into their death. Yeah. Defaults. I mean, Blue is still pretty much pop capped, and they have started a trade line. A decent trade line, not perfect. Blue's markets are good. Green's market is not. Come on, build it here. Illuminati would know to build it here. And the next version will, I should say. 2.1. Spoiler alert. Oh. Speaking of Illuminati, that's an Illuminati mining camp right there. Right there, Naga. But yeah, looks like Green's dying. Still on 150 population, but the Nagas are pop cap. And they are streaming in Rams, which is the best unit, of course. Best unit in the game. The Siege Ram. No contest. Okay, on this top side, Naga's Navy has actually maybe been able to get the advantage. Oh, but these are some really good Naga casters here. On the choke point. But Default has actually made some cannon galleons. Most of the Naga Navy is still stuck here, but they're not in the wrong position anyway. Because they are still massacring lots of military and lots of economy here from the Defaults. And a lot of green space has gone down. And it's now finally making Ethiopian archers. Took you long enough. Obviously it's not an admin re, otherwise I would have restarted it 50 minutes ago, which I have not. No, this is a normal FenCrazy. But I don't know. Naga has not been able to deal decisive damage on land, but it is. What's with these villagers? Like this is Illuminati tier villager behavior. Standing them all forward in the late game. That's something I'm trying to fix in Illuminati. But Naga is still doing it as well. At least I'm not alone. Yes, fucking obviously. We're 50 minutes into the game. If it was an admin restart, we wouldn't be here. It is that obvious. It really is. But yeah, it looks still like Naga's winning it. The Navy from default that it made has mostly died, yes, and now even Naga's Navy is moving up top as well. And here it's still the death ball that we've seen the entire game, and now even cannon galleons, so you can range even more of the buildings inside of this land. And yeah, moving down south is good here. You can take out these stocks as well and stop blue from producing a navy here. And there's also a lot of buildings you could range once you get there. I don't see any way for default to come back, so I'm gonna speed it up again to 4 times speed. What map did you think this was? Okay, Nagas here are trying to take this 1 gold. That's gonna be the last gold, and Nagas once again are much slower to set up their trade routes than the defaults were, like we saw in the last game in the 4v4. But they do have the best market placements they could hope for on this map. It might actually be better than default, or just about the same. But good trade route. Just gonna take a while to get their trade card number up, I guess. They're just trade booming now. Just as the gold is running out, so good timing for that as well. But on land, they are winning. Default is getting its shit pushed in. And Naga is winning the tournament 3-0 with a clean sweep in the grand final.
Gold, please.
What do you mean? They can move through here. I think blue might still be pop capped. Yeah, it is still on 200 population. But green should be dead by now, finally. Come on, green. Green, how is green still at 180 pop? I guess it located to the back. Yeah, it's really cramped in the back here. Green locating to the back. Default is pretty good at surviving, honestly. Because it should be dead a long time ago, but it's not. It still survives.
Gold,
But this game's gonna end one way or another. Now finally blue stocks here in the south going down. And they have gone down to the top as well for green, so no more chance for a water comeback from default from the looks of it. But on land it is still the Gauss infantry spam is still getting it done, defending, and don't tell me default is pushing this back. Don't tell me. Could it end in 5 hours? Maybe. Maybe it's a fitting finish to the tournament. And it's gonna take forever, but I mean, sure, I can slow it down again to 2 times speed. Because the game does not seem to be over after all. It's not over. Like now, Default is winning back the advantage on land and is actually pushing through the choke point with its Goth infantry spam and Ethiopian skirmishers. That's all it has. But its trade route should be mostly undisturbed, yeah? Its trade route is undisturbed. Naga never really managed to push into there, so it has good trade, Default does.
Gold, please.
It's just the Navy moving back up top. It can block this choke point once they all move back here. And wow, actually Default pushing it back with siege rams. Now there was a second castle here. It has already fallen. And yeah, the other castle for Naga is also going down. So actually on land now Default is suddenly winning, has turned it around. What the hell, yeah. Maybe Naga has too much population in the ships, that's correct. But the ships are not bad. They could still defend this here. And they have taken out so much from Default. Like this entire strip along the coastline was cleared of buildings and of economy. And it still is being attacked right now. But Default relocating everything to the back, it has worked out for it. And the game is not over. Come on, these AIs. Yeah, it is a fitting grand final. The 4v4 was very close. And once again, the 2v2. Both of these AIs showing us their best side. Or close to it at least. We have still seen some things that can be improved in this game. No AI is ever perfect. It's an ongoing process. Some AIs are closer to perfection than others. And these two are the ones that are the closest at this point in time. Okay. The one castle did stay up. That is true, probably. So Naga sent its navy back to defend the choke point, and it was successful, but it is still sending villagers over. Do you have wood problems here? Are you gonna run out of wood, Naga? Well, there's still some forests over here. So not quite. Not quite, no. It's not a wood game yet.
Gold.
And it's once again Naga on the attack. But I don't think you have the right units here. Let's look at the Civ matchup. Yeah, you're Italians, bro. You're Italians, and you're being challenged by a Goth infantry spam. Red, I'm talking to you, Red. Where are your fucking hand cannons? Why aren't you spamming hand cannons? That's what I'm wondering. Because hand cannons would have ended this game already. Versus the infantry spam.
Gold.
That's what you need to do to counter this. You're fucking Italians. You're on gunpowder Civ. You have a bonus to it as well. And you're not making any hand cannons. You're making trash. Fucking trash. Is it because you don't have enough trade? Yes, you definitely do not have enough trade. The Nagas. I don't know what it is with Naga. We saw it in the 4v4 last game as well. Like, why are you so slow to set up your trade? Are you not... Where's your economy? Do you still have fishing ships? I don't see him, if you do. So... Is all your population in military? I don't know. Why are you not making more? I think maybe it's trade card production rules are at the end of the script. But yeah, Naga does not have enough trade. That's a problem for Naga. That's what I would say. Not enough trade. I'm not gonna try and diagnose it any further right now, but with more trade it could have already ended the game in my opinion. Because it is out of natural gold. Okay, there's still this one here, but it's a bit too far away.
Gold,
And
please.
they weren't able to build a mining camp there, I guess. But yeah, you should have been able to finish the game by now, Naga. Lack of trade is the problem. And here, yeah, the defaults are still able to fight it back. With Goth Infantry, the classic. Has been for 25 years, why change it now? And Ethiopian skirmishers. But still, there's always gonna be something in range of Naga's navies. They have cleared quite a lot already. It's another Illuminati. Another Illuminati type mining camp. I think it's because of this gold here that they can't build a mining camp on, which is happens all the time. AI limitations and such. But yeah, forward drop side buildings. That's, I guess Naga and Illuminati still have a lot of things in common. Yeah, it still looks like a stalemate. Nobody's winning this. And if we do get into a wood game, then maybe default will have the advantage, though it's not that much forced here either. Yeah, so no. I think even a wood game might be even. We have a stalemate on our hand. Yeah, that's BM yellow here, stealing default's wood. Why not? Looks like default has relocated its trade route to here, but it's not under attack. Fighting still happens, close to the shoreline, and Naga's navy can support. Anytime Naga pushes further inland, it's getting pushed back. What a game! Okay, we finally see the Italian hand cannoneers I was asking for. It looks like the Nagas are slowly getting their trade cut numbers up as well. Still only 23. But once it does, maybe Naga can close out the game. Once we have the goal to make more gold units, to make more hand cannoneers, for example. And really yellow, you're Mongols. You think pikemen are your best unit choice? Come on. I don't even see a single cavalry unit for default. Why are you making pikemen yellow? Lack of gold, that's why. Yellow has almost no trade whatsoever. 5 trade cards only. So yeah, yellow. Naga, lack of trade. Your pop cap, sure. You should be
please.
making space for trade cards, or you should have added them a long time ago. And this default keeps trying to build buildings here near the shoreline, but they will go down. So that is an advantage. An advantage Naga can continue to exploit. And Naga's once again pushing into default. Oh, this is still at pop cap. Yeah, pretty much. So it's not over yet. But Naga once again pushed in. The last times we've seen it, default pushed him back with no problem. Is it gonna be the same here? Maybe not. Yeah, might be the same dynamic. Once again, default being able to defend here. Naga holding on to the water, no problem there. And it does have a lot of its population tied up in the water, so that's why it never has enough population space to make a decisive push on the land. Makes sense. Hitman's asking for the red account. 1 for blue. 3 for green, and none for Naga whatsoever. So all of the relics in default's
Gold
possession.
is
Of course, it's not that important in a team game because you can trade. But as we know, default has very good trade. Whoa, 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 what happened? Did you... The market, you died! Okay, so default's trade route is cut in half. That's interesting. That might decide the game in time. Because now default, which has had the gold advantage for a long time just because it has good trade, while Naga did not. Okay, it did build a market back here again. Okay, so now the trade route is fixed again. Having this market. So yeah, default's trade still very good. Naga on the other hand.
gold.
Red,
please.
at least red has a lot of trade cards now. Yellow is still behind though. Yellow is still only... Oh no, I see trendy now. I see trendy. Is it trade cards or is it gold miners? No. It has actually decided to mine this gold right here, finally. So maybe now is the time that Naga can finish out the game. It would count on the map. I could check that with Capture Age. Unfortunately, I'm not able to use Capture Age. Because that's too much for my PC. Streaming and the game and Capture Age. That's... I tried it in my first stream and it did not work out. So I have to stream without Capture Age, unfortunately. No, you can zoom out and like select all trees at least. Something like that. Well, wood is getting lower and lower. I see on default side of the map 2 sizable forests and a few smaller ones. On Naga side, yeah, there's still this one. And this one. And this one. I'd say the wood is pretty even between the teams. But we're still quite a way away from a wood game. Still quite a way away. But it's been a stalemate for so long, I think I have to run it on 4 times speed. It's been a stalemate for so long. One way or another, this game will have to end. But how long do we have to wait? Is the question. And will the end of this game also spell the end of the tournament? That's another question. Because Naga is on match point. Yeah, that's a very good point, Live. A lot of defaults woods are being able to be ranged by the Naga navies. And Naga has had the naval advantage for the entire game. And as long as it can keep it, which I don't see changing in this game ever. So now Naga is gonna have the naval superiority forever, which means it can range some of the wood that's on default side of the map. Which means default will be unable to take advantage of the wood that it has there. So if it goes long enough, that might be an advantage for Naga, indeed.
Gold, please.
That's a good point. And yes, red is doing what I hoped it would do. Going for the Italian hand cannoneers, which is perfect to counter the Gothic infantry spam from blue. And we see more Illuminati mining camps and forward production buildings as well. Another one. The defaults are not at pop cap anymore. Whoa. We are dropping population below 180 now for the defaults. Before that they were still at 190, now they are not anymore. Is it finally time that Naga can make the decisive push? Looks like yellow is now also finally adding in more trade. So finally, after 100 minutes in the game, Naga is getting up its trade to respectable numbers. So it can compete in the late game army composition. More buildings still going down along the shoreline. Trade route still not quite... Oh, it is actually getting raided. There are a few hussars here in the trade. Default still dropping population below 170 now. Looks like Naga is actually gonna be able to take it 3-0 in a clean sweep in this grand final. Now on the attack. Italian gunpowder that we wanted to see. And buildings going down, also some rams. Of course the rams they don't live long. And the trade route is still intact here. Oh. What are these trade cards doing? Are they retreating from something? I think those trade cards are running away. I think that's a strategic number you can set actually. And I think most AIs have turned that off, and they should. Why does green have idle villagers? Default? Why do you have idle villagers? I think that's game over if you're idling your economy even. What is going on, green? Were you trying to take some resource that didn't exist anymore? Or what? That's interesting. Yeah, that's very weird. And forests. Yeah, looks like... Oh yes, it looks like default is just about out of wood it can take. There's only this little bit here left. But still, Naga has not been able to make the decisive push. Defaults are above 170 pop again. But the wood is running out. Maybe it will be a wood game after all. Naga is also running out here. There's still here, a bit here, a bit here. Bit over here, but there's no lumber camp probably because you can't fit one here. AI is always having problems building drop sites, and there's always patches of the map where for some reason it's impossible to build drop sites even though it should be possible. I think that's also a DE bug, even though it's hard to diagnose.
Wood, please.
But yes, wood is running low. And Naga still on the attack here at defaults. Back up to 190 population each. Naga still camping the shorelines with his navy. It's still stalemate. I mean, a lot of the land around the sea has been cleared of buildings, but default, cramped in the back, is still alive and still at 190 populations each. And this game does not seem to be ending. Because Naga never has enough population space to make a decisive push on land. Where default can bring all of its population space to bear. With Ethiopian Arbalest, fully upgraded, best unit they have. And Gothic infantry. Is this game ever gonna end? I think it will come down to a wood game. I think that's what we're looking at now. And yeah, this forest here, under constant attack from Naga's navy. This here can still be taken, but also somewhat under attack. This here probably not. Yeah, I think default is about out of wood. And Naga... Oh, we have a lumber camp here for red. We have lumber camp here for red and yellow on this one. That's still got something left. We saw default also trying to build one here. Oh, we have now finally elite Mangadai, elite step lancers for the Mongols. Fully upgraded all those units. That is finally a good Mongol late game army composition. I don't know why we had to wait this long for it. Before it only made trash. Yeah, I guess because it was lacking the trade, but now it has the gold income that it needs to make its impressive Mongol late game army, and now the defaults are finally dropping population. Maybe this game will end after all. Below 150 population are the defaults. Now Naga is making the decisive push here. Now elite step lancers, yes, they do not get +4 armor, but they do get extra HP being the Mongols. And yes, Italian hand cannoneers that I predicted, that I wished for, are getting the job done. And Default is dying. Naga is getting it done. Naga is taking the entire tournament and the grand final in a clean sweep. 3-0 versus Default. Proving superior in every aspect. And Naga has proven itself to be the best AI on this map at this date. Congratulations, Promi. You deserve it. Default still has some critical bugs here. We saw my idle villagers. Defaults are dead. We're just waiting for them to resign, which they have not done. Default resigns way too late. Whoa. This is it, my boys. You are witnessing the final minutes of the tournament as Naga drives its victory home. Even taking the wood line that Default was unable to. Naga will be our champion of FenCrazyThing 9. Naga in the trade. Default versus idol. It's over. G fucking G. I don't know why Default isn't resigning. It should be. Come on. We waited for 2 hours. We can wait a few minutes longer for Default to resign. But Naga has done it. And did it actually delete all of its navy to make pop space? Is that... Yeah, where did all the scallions go? I think it deleted them. That's very smart to make pop space for the land push it needed to close out the game. So damn, I'm surprised once again. That's not something I was aware it could do, but it can. I'm pretty sure it deleted all of its galleons because it had a lot of them. And there we go. Come on, Default. 0 populations, 5 population. Why have you not resigned? I'm gonna let it play out. I want to humiliate Default a bit more. Because fuck your shitty resign rules. If I have to suffer it, then so will you. Zero population, 0 population. Default has still not resigned. Is it gonna be defeated? You stupid fucking AI. I think that was defeated. And green resigned. That's it. GG. G fucking G. A clean sweep indeed for Naga 3-0 beating the Default AI. We take a look at the brackets. This, of course, concludes the tournament. Naga, in a dominant fashion, taking the grand final and the first place in the entire tournament. Default, second place, and Tribal, we saw earlier, defeated in the third place match. And those are our final standings. And we learned quite a lot in this tournament, even though I thought it was a very short tournament, a very small tournament, only 6 participants, only 10 matches in total. We saw a lot of things that are quite unusual with this map back in action. We saw a lot of critical bugs from different AIs. The only ones who were mostly immune were Naga at Default, who deservedly made it to the grand final. Still the most solid AIs at this point. In time, we saw some AIs which are very strong on open maps, being aggressive, especially in 1v1s, those being Tribal and Brightspark, which in the end did still fall short versus the more solid late gamers, the more versatile ones. We saw critical bugs from from Default. We saw a critical bug from Default. Up here we saw critical bugs from Tribal last game, I believe. We saw critical bugs from Illuminati, one which has been fixed, one which I still have to diagnose. We saw, I don't know, a lot of things. We also had a few omissions in this tournament, still a few AIs which did not participate, which I anticipated, but we're hopefully gonna see Immortal and the General, and maybe even Supervillain, maybe even Maya, being ready the next time FenCrazyThing 10 rolls around, because this tournament series is not over. If anything, this tournament has proven that this map is very much needed, and it is here to stay. And we're gonna be back next year with FenCrazyThing 10. I'll see you then. Peace.